Obviously today need to start with reflection on the terrible attacks in the United States. We are grieving for the families, and of course we stand with our American neighbors as they work through this difficult time. Well, I think we know that unfortunately there's a greater and greater polarization in politics, not just around the world, but in Canada as well. That's why it's so important that we all stand together in moments like this. We're standing up for human rights, standing up for communities who are marginalized, who continue to suffer a greater degree of hate crimes and intolerance than other communities. That's particularly why I'm glad to be here, walking alongside a number of party leaders, including Jagmeet Singh and Elizabeth May. This is important, that it shows that we are standing unequivocally in favor of human rights, in defense of Canadians. It's just unfortunate that there are still some party leaders who want to be Prime Minister who choose to stand with people who are intolerant instead of standing with the LGBT community.
Just incredible there. He talked about, there's some awful people bringing greater polarization. We need to stand together against intolerance. All of us together, except that bastard Conservative Party who loves hatred. Oh my God. And I think he got away with it. Joining us now via Skype is our friend Andrew Lawton from TNC.news. Andrew, good to see you. Did I overstate or misunderstand that? He was asked about a mass shooting in America, and he ends by, I think he was blaming Andrew Scheer or Maxime Bernier, I think. What happened there?
Well, I think Justin Trudeau has been watching too much of that old Friends episode where Ross is trying to get a couch into his apartment and has to yell out, pivot, pivot, pivot every 3 seconds. I think he has had programmed into his mind, pivot to calling everyone a racist, pivot to calling everyone a bigot, pivot to talking about diversity being our strength, and he does it even when he's giving a response that ostensibly is, or at least should be, about offering sympathy, thoughts, and prayers to our greatest ally, our neighbor to the south. But this is not new, and I think the juxtaposition of this response from him coming in an answer that was supposed to be about sympathy for the United States is one thing, but it also comes a week after Justin Trudeau proudly proclaimed that his campaign, his re-election campaign, would not be about wedge politics or division, that it would just be on, we're going to put our positive liberal vision forward and Canadians are going to vote for it. And it took a matter of days for him to then switch that to, we're just going to name call the other side. And by virtue of Andrew Scheer not marching in the parade, he is, in our view as liberals, standing with intolerance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the best interpretation of what Trudeau said. I think there's also a case to be made, maybe it's not the right case, that he was linking Andrew Scheer to what happened in the United States as well. I mean, I don't know. Either way, it showed the polarization. You recently wrote an article about this on TNC.news. Your headline was, Trudeau says no to wedge politics. Really, all he does is wedge politics, whether it's feminism, calling other people misogynist, homophobia, which he was implying that Andrew Scheer was homophobic, Islamophobia, he calls anyone who criticizes immigration Islamophobic. I think that's his only card. I mean, he's got the marijuana legalization card he can play, but other than that, I really don't know what Justin Trudeau stands for in 2019, other than calling his enemies names.
One of the big problems we have in politics now is that the age of the big tent party is going by the wayside. The Liberals want everyone in the Liberal Party to think and feel the same way, which has been great for the Conservatives because it means that there's no room for a pro-life Liberal anymore. There's no room for a Catholic Liberal. There's no room for a moderate Liberal. It's always just Justin Trudeau's Liberal brand. Whereas the Conservative Party of Canada has always tried to be, as we often hear it, the big blue tent, which means you've got your blue Tories, your red Tories, your libertarians, your social conservatives. That's the theoretical approach that the party goes for anyway. But what it really is saying here is that Justin Trudeau is trying to drive wedges between the conservative factions, basically. So when he tries to make abortion the discussion, he's trying to drive a wedge between the Conservatives and the electorate, and also between various sides of the Conservatives. When he talks about Islamophobia, he's doing the same thing. So when you look back at the last almost 4 years now that Justin Trudeau has been Prime Minister, the entire agenda of his government has been about these wedge issues that he now says he's avoiding.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.